on any issue that has generated some confusion in the public interest. As a regulator, we are interested in having regulatory certainty because our licensed operators would always look for that. Recent comments attributed to me suggested that Starlink is launching in Uganda this week in partnership with Airtel Uganda and will directly provide connectivity to users across the country. The context in which I said this, like I told you, we are processing the licensing application of Starlink. As we are doing this, our licensed operator, Airtel, about 2 weeks back, came back to me to break the good news that as we are processing this at a regional level, we have had a collaboration with Starlink as a regulator of communication services. This was exciting because the whole licensing topography changes now when satellite communication links to a terrestrial network. It's not direct to the consumer. The way we regulate it becomes different. But because satellite communication is not infrastructure like any other infrastructure, this is why I want our licensed operator to understand. The usage of satellite communication to link to core network, which is terrestrial, will need some authorization because it presents a lot of other issues, geopolitical issues, data privacy issues, content monitoring issues. All of these come into play. So much as we welcome the good news of Airtel, a collaboration with Starlink, we must understand that this collaboration to come into fruition will need some level of authorization. So the issue of launching this week or next week, yes, it is possible if all the conditions are fulfilled. So that interpretation was not very accurate. What we have also to understand is that if you use satellite as infrastructure, it has to be non-exclusive. Because under competition law, we can't allow vertical constraints. For example, Starlink cannot use Airtel and exclude other licensed operators. So those are details you can see that it's not as simple as some people want to think. What has been announced, however, at a group level, at Airtel side, is a strategic agreement between Airtel Africa and SpaceX, the parent company of Starlink. This agreement allows Airtel Africa to explore the use of Starlink's satellite capacity as part of Airtel's own network solutions, subject to country-specific regulatory approvals. So in simple terms, Starlink is not entering the Uganda market to sell services directly to consumers. 2, Starlink is not launching retail services in Uganda this week. And 3, there is no direct consumer Starlink operation approved in Uganda so far. I've heard some narratives that we stopped operation of Starlink in Uganda. You can't stop something that does not exist. If you are not licensed in a jurisdiction, you are not supposed to operate in that jurisdiction. And indeed, you saw how they responded. Another model being discussed, Airtel Uganda, once all regulatory processes are concluded, would use satellite capacity as a network enhancement tool. The customer relationship remains with Airtel, not Starlink. Uganda's policy position is very clear. Satellite technology is welcome, necessary, and important for expanding coverage, especially in hard-to-reach areas. However, the Commission has consistently recommended a wholesale satellite model where satellite providers supply capacity to licensed national operators who then serve customers under Uganda's laws, consumer protection standards, and security framework. That's our approach. This approach ensures regulatory oversight remains intact, including lawful interception, quality of service enforcement, and data protection. Data is the new currency. Protecting data is now very critical national service. That's why we have a law, Data Protection and Privacy Act. Consumer protection is guaranteed with local support, pricing transparency, and accountability. National investment and jobs in the telecommunication sector are protected and strengthened. So to be clear, if and when satellite capacity is deployed through a licensed operator like Airtel Uganda, it will be Airtel's service delivered to Airtel customers, regulated by Uganda Communication Commission and aligned with Uganda National Digital Development Goals. There's no bypassing of the regulator, no uncontrolled market entry, and no sudden launch outside the law. Otherwise, what I have characterized as guided disruption. We remain committed to expanding connectivity everywhere in Uganda so that Ugandans can live, work, and travel anywhere with connectivity. But we will do so with responsible, securely, and in a way that protects the public interest. That is the correct position, and I say this all for God and my country. Thank you very much.